work on with Chirag Shah and the whole team on the marketing side. I come to this company with about 6 years of digital marketing and traditional marketing experience. I spent some of that time with Compass, so I'm very familiar with the Compass tools and the Compass programs, and everything that you guys are hearing and learning on your end. And I also had 4 years of retail marketing experience in New York. So I like to combine all of that and really bring it to this real estate world, which is super exciting. And I'm just really excited to talk to you guys about some really great tools that you guys have available to you that are going to make your job much easier and help you just be much more efficient, which is what Deborah is going to be talking to you guys about today. So I think we can go ahead and dive in.
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to share our screen. We have some slides prepared that we can go over together. So how I wanted to approach today's sessions a little bit, let's do a little bit of a self-audit. I'm going to also do it as I talk about it, because it's the old do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. And I'm going to hold myself accountable as we go along as well. So we can move on to the first slide. So time management. So we're going to review time management today. I'm sorry if you're going to hear my G chat. So basically, I say the first question to everybody, and you're going to just answer in your own head. You don't have to raise a hand or call out. This is just going to be a self audit, and just keep track of these answers. When you wake up in the morning, do you have a clear idea of the day ahead, and are you prepared for it? So let's think about that. Do you have a clear idea of your day ahead, and are you prepared for that day? So obviously, setting up your calendar, managing your team leads calendars, that's all part of structuring how your day looks, how your week looks, right? And obviously, we're going to also touch upon using Marketing Center. That's Chelsea's part of the presentation to save time. But let's think about that part. If you're saying yes, great. You're doing already very well. If you're saying somewhat, then we have an opportunity here for improvement. If you're saying no, why? Is it because you're very new and you don't know yet what the day is going to look like and what the week's going to look like? That's understandable. Or is it that you're still unclear about your role and your job? So let's take a self-audit with that question, and then we can continue on and you guys think about it. And hopefully whatever answers you do come up to, we'll come up with also the solutions of how to move towards that, because that is the ultimate goal. So obviously time management, what are we trying to do? Increase work output, right? We want to make sure that our time is being used effectively for the tasks that are most important, so that when a day goes by and a week goes by, we have put out work and reached our goals, right? And if you haven't set goals for yourself, I would do so, because if you don't set them, you can't accomplish them, right? So I like to think about, small goals, nothing tremendous, a daily goal, a weekly goal when it comes to moving the real estate business forward. I mean, for those of you who haven't been here yet, I worked for 7 years as an executive assistant to a real estate team lead who opened Keller Williams in New York City. So he was the brokerage owner / also he still had his own residential real estate team, and I managed him. And at that time, between 5 to 10 agents, depending on where we were in the business. So I'm very familiar with the daily activities and what it means to move the business forward. So we got to create those structures and sustainable work habits that can help you get through the day, manage those tasks, and then get your daily and weekly goals accomplished. So we were talking about it right before everybody jumped on about multitasking, right? And Rhea mentioned that she had to multitask right now, but she was going to give undivided attention. And then she said, but that's not possible, right? So I think a lot of times when we are taken on as admins or executive assistants, we think it's because of our amazing ability to multitask, right? Because our team lead or the agents we're supporting can't. They have a hard time with that. But the reality is, while we are very good multitaskers, if you do two things at once, even for us, both of those tasks are going to suffer, right? Like there's no way that we can be really focused on something. And if it's very detail oriented and you can't make a mistake, and then you have like the phone ringing or you're answering an email kind of switching back and forth, that you could possibly do them both well. So what we want to do is focus blocks of time on one activity, or if it's like a group of similar activities. So you have a block of time, focused, dedicated, and you're focused on that. Now, when you're with your team lead, a lot of times now we have mostly on Zoom at this point, but on Zoom or in person, if you're in a meeting with your team lead, you have to make sure they're listening during those meetings, and not that they're getting distracted and answering an email, or a text message comes in and it's a deal, or a phone call pops up. If they're in a meeting with you, it has to be focused, it has to be minus distractions. And it is our job to hold them accountable to that, because they will inevitably check an email or look at their phone during the meeting. So if they're not listening to you because they're doing that, then the meeting, it's a waste of time, because you have to constantly pull their focus back. And I would also suggest, when you're working with your team leader, you got to cut the meeting times in half. I mean, don't think that they're going to sit for an hour with you and try to go through everything that you want to do. You really have to make it very strategic, very focused, exactly what you need. And I always say, if you have like a laundry list of what's going on in the business and you want to kind of, give it all to them, and there's problems, and this went wrong or that, I would say they can't handle that. Don't give it to them that way. Tell them what's happening and tell them what you think the solution will be. Or if you don't know, say, what is the solution? Ask them for their help if you're new to the business and you're not sure yourself. So moving on, I was going to ask you, the next question was, let's go back, Chelsea. Do you know your week, both work and personal? Do you guys, I mean, if you've time blocked your work life, have you time blocked your personal life? If not, if the answer is no, you should do that, so that you're always making time for your personal life. Most agents, when they start their time blocking, if they do it, they start with the personal, right? They automatically start with the family time, the vacation time, anything, workout time, anything that's personal in their lives, and then they fill in the business. So you always start with the personal and fill in the business. Now, we as admins, obviously, we know pretty much our time, right? If it's a 9 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever it is. So we don't have to necessarily start with the personal in mind, but we should always make sure we have that scheduled into our calendar, so we know, and that we hold ourselves accountable to that personal time, and we have those boundaries, right? Because we don't want to, not have those boundaries and all of a sudden work blurs into personal life. So create that balance. If you don't, you're going to crash and burn. And so that's one of the questions I can say I'm not very good at, creating that work-life balance. I think a lot of us can relate. So I will throw my hands up on that one and say, I'm not very good at that. And that's a work in progress for me. Interruptions. Now, we are all obviously dealing with a million different tasks all day long. And on top of that, we're getting an email, we're getting a text message, we're getting a phone call, and we're trying to manage and juggle it all. And obviously, research shows if you get interrupted, it's going to take you almost 25 minutes to refocus. So that is not a best use of time. So what do we do when we don't want to be interrupted? We have to block the time in our calendar of when we're going to be answering emails, when we're going to be answering text messages, and when we're not. And I think knowing it's okay to not be overly available at all times is going to be what's going to manage your time and make you the most efficient. If you're servicing a team of agents, not just one singular agent, and you're getting requests coming in from all over the place, it's okay if they don't get an immediate response from you, and that you wait. And if you're in the middle of something, they can wait to be answered. And I would also say on that communication, how you want to be communicated with other members on the team or your team lead. I know a lot of times when I was doing it, I was getting text messages, do this, can you do that? Like through text. And I kept answering back, please send me an email. Please send me an email with this request, because I can't manage my text and an email and 3 other email boxes and piece it all together for myself. So I would say if that's happening in your business, definitely try to encourage and create that boundary that you will only receive requests through email. That way you can track it, you can create your to-do lists, and you can manage it and execute on it. So you're going to block time to check and respond to those emails and texts. And for the team leader, very important. Every team leader needs to have a blocked time for lead generation. If it's not blocked in their calendar, it's not happening. If it's not happening, business isn't going to move forward and grow. So it is our job, whether we're new or veterans, to our team leaders, if we see that there's that slot missing from their calendar, we need to put it in and hold them accountable to it. Generally speaking, lead generation is supposed to happen in the morning, somewhere between 9 and 11, 8 and 10, 2 hours, 3 hours, 1.5 hours, whatever the team lead can devote to it, it gets blocked. And what goes into it is something you can discuss with them, but they might need some support in knowing what they should do during that time. It's just because they're in the business for however many years and you may have been supporting them, doesn't mean they can sit and be structured without your help. So it can make you make a strategic plan on what's going to happen at that time, who the people that you're going to call or email or touch, or what part of the business you're going to work on as far as lead generation goes, because the only thing that they're responsible to do in their business is lead generate. Everything else is really secondary to constant lead generation. And I know we have a team leader here on the line who can attest to that, that lead generation is their job, not selling real estate, it's getting leads. Right, Ethan?
That's correct. Real estate tend to think they're just sell real estate, but you wouldn't have real estate to sell if you didn't have people to sell to. So I was really to lead generate. Number one, that's our only job, one job, lead generate. And it's very, very important that time is set and blocked off and not interrupted. And that becomes the job of our wonderful admins who we couldn't live without. So thank you to all of you for what you do, who are our gatekeepers to make sure that we can do what we need to do to grow the business.
Yeah, and that's a great point, the gatekeeper. We are the gatekeeper. For those of you who are a little bit newer, you're going to establish that position. It's not something you're just going to walk in day one knowing how to do it. It will take a little bit of time getting the rhythm. But for those of you who are a little bit more established, try to be more of a gatekeeper. Push yourself every day to see what else you can take away from your team lead or agent, whoever you're working with, and see how you can insert yourself into that and take it off their plates and take it onto yourself, because they get sometimes hung up in the nitty gritty, and they really need to let that go in order for them to grow and in order for you to grow. So it's really a win-win. I was going to say the next question is, have you prioritized your list of things to do? Energy suckers and time wasters are out. Do you know what these wasters look like to you? So it's very important to identify what is a time sucker, energy waster for you. And again, if you're new, you're going to learn what that is, and you're just going to take note of it. If you've been in the business already for 90 plus days or more, you probably have already started to realize what those time wasting energy sucker things are, and you need to remove them. So we ready? Yeah. Okay, so structuring your day. We've talked a lot about time management. So the way I structured my day when I was working well, I do it now too, it's shifted a little bit, but money-making tasks come first. And what do I mean by that? Anything that makes the business money short-term tasks, not the long-term big projects like a marketing big project or an event that might be coming. The short-term money-making tasks are what happen first in the morning. So you wake up, you check your emails, you prioritize them a little, you answer a few, right? And then we move on to the big chunk of time that's blocked out for this. And that could be uploading a listing or anything to do with a listing. It could be, ordering the photography for the listing if you're not up to uploading. It could be sending out the exclusive agreement. It could be, and writing the description for the listing, whatever it means to gather all the information needed to get that listing live. That would be a money-making task. Preparing a deal sheet or term sheet. These are what we usually put together if you're in New York when an offer has been accepted and you have all the information from the attorneys and the buyers and the sellers and the price. That would be a money-making activity because that needs to get to the attorney in order to start the contract. Or if you're not in New York, creating those contracts, following up with attorneys or appraisals or lenders or any part of the process of getting the business, whether it's buyer or listing, to the closing table. That's what falls in that morning time slot. And even like appointment setting. So if you don't have all those other things, if it means setting appointments for your team lead, setting those appointments so that they can go get new business. Chelsea, we can move on to the next slide. So set yourself up for success. Work on your top priorities for the day in the morning. In order to set yourself up for the next day, review your next day's top priority the night before so that you know kind of what you're walking into every day. And I know it's Sunday and we talk about work-life boundaries, but in order to start the week, it's okay to spend, if you can, 10, 20 minutes, nothing major, planning your priorities for the week. So you kind of know when you're starting on Monday, what you're walking into for the week, and every day you take an audit of what you did that day, and then you know where you're picking up from the next day. And here is a sample admin calendar. It's all been time blocked out. I created this for you guys, and I can invite you into the calendar so you can have it. I also put tasks inside each time block. So for those of you who don't know what goes where, I've put it in there, and you can obviously change it to, make it more about your business. But as you can see, I blocked out the email and phone messages first thing. Then we have those money-making tasks we talked about. At 11, you take a break. You're going to do a little bit of an assessment of what's gone on so far that morning so that at 11:30, you can have your first meeting with your team leader. And if there's anything going on that you have a question about, they need to know about, that can be presented at that time. It's a quick meeting. It doesn't have to be a very in-depth meeting. It's not a meeting where you're going to talk about social media strategies for the whole business. It's not any long-term planning meetings. Those need to be scheduled separately. Those aren't part of the daily tasks. Those would be an additional meeting you would set up and carve time out for. Obviously, return emails and finish up any work. Lunch, definitely take a lunch. I know we all try to think we're going to work through lunch and we're not going to take a proper lunch. You have to take a lunch. You have to decompress. You have to unplug for a little bit so that you could be most effective. You come back, again, answering any emails, texts, or voicemails that have come in. And here you have that block for marketing projects or other long-term things. You have it blocked off. So if there are things happening, if there's things the team leader wants you to be doing, or they want to meet about it, it is blocked here. Or you could use this time to finish up, obviously, any tasks that didn't get done in the morning. That's interchangeable. And if you have other agents that you're servicing, here's some office hours you can offer them to meet with you. So they're not just, do you have a minute? Do you have a minute? Do you have a minute? It has to be blocked. They need to know when you're available. They can't think that they can just get into your calendar anytime they want to. Obviously, if they make an appointment in advance, that's acceptable. But if they're just going to ask you in the moment for something, you have blocked time for those kinds of situations. And this can be changed a little bit. This is not set in stone, but this is just, and then at the end of the day, you go through your business tracker, your sky slope, and you can have a day in review with your team leader to basically go over the tasks for the day, any outstanding questions you might have, or anything that has come up that you still need to speak to them about to push forward. So that is the time blocking system that I use, and I think it's most effective. And again, you can schedule things into here, but this is how the day should look if you don't have any other things coming up. And I'm going to throw it to Chelsea, who's going to take us through the second part.
Thank you, Deborah. Okay, so marketing. Who here is responsible, if you want to just raise your hands or write in the chat box, responsible for executing marketing activities or marketing tasks for your team? Anything from, social media posts to getting mailers out to sending emails for your team. Marketing has so many different channels and so many different types of executions. I'm sure some of that probably falls on you as the admin for your team. But you might be wondering, why marketing? Why are they having me do all of these things? What is it that they're, hoping to accomplish, or what is the goal of all of this marketing? And oftentimes you might be thinking it's just about the listings. We just want to bring buyers to the listing, or we want to, make our sellers happy with the listings. But, the goal of marketing really has a huge range from not just promoting your listings, but also finding new prospects, building and maintaining relationships with your existing clients, and also networking with other real estate professionals. That's a really huge outcome of marketing. So having consistent marketing is really key in achieving your goals along all of these different buckets for your team. And having a good marketing strategy is what is going to distinguish your team from other teams and really help you cut through the clutter. So Marketing Center. So one of, when I was at Compass, one of my favorite kind of guilty pleasures, I would say, is when, an agent would come to me with a huge marketing request, thinking that it would, take many, many hours, a lot of bandwidth, a graphic designer, a marketing strategy, something really custom and complicated. And I would take that request and go into Marketing Center, create something that delivered on everything that they asked for in, just a few minutes. And I'd come back to them with this fantastic asset and say, here, isn't this what you wanted? And they would just be shocked, with what you would come back with. So I think there's probably nothing more satisfying than delivering something with huge impact and really great value in very little time with minimal effort. And that's exactly what I'm hoping to share with you guys today. You're really able to deliver tremendous value for your team and create really, great marketing assets, just utilizing the tools that Compass has available for you. And, just utilizing those tools is going to help you free up more time for, other income producing projects for your team, and also help you work maybe on a passion project you've been wanting to work on that you think is going to really also deliver value for your team. So really take advantage of the tools to free up time in your schedule to do other things that maybe you're more excited about. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys, basically how to bring more buyers to listings with Marketing Center, using automation to save time, and creating digital ads for your listing. So those are three examples of tools, but obviously there's a huge range, and we can get into those at another time. So first, utilizing Marketing Center to keep your content consistent. So consistency and themes are key. I have social media success here, but it's also the same for your mailers, for your emails, basically any type of collateral you're sending out. And the reason for that is consistency is what is going to get you, noticed. If you do something, there's a saying or, a statistic that it takes about 8 times for someone to see something for them to remember it. So if you do it once and it's great, fine, but no one's probably going to remember it. So consistency and repetition is really, really important. And themes is also what's going to make you remembered. If you kind of are changing the theme of what you do time and time again, you're not being known for something. So that's where themes and having, a certain look or, a brand really comes into play. So Marketing Center is really great to help you deliver on both consistency and themes. So there's 2 types of buckets of content that you can leverage from Marketing Center. The first is your start from scratch designs. This is what you're going to be able to customize in Marketing Center. You can, create a really wonderful asset for a listing, change the photo, put your logo in there, include your address, any of the information you want to include would be a start from scratch design that really has nothing that you start with. But, creating an asset from scratch every single time might, eat up a lot of, minutes or hours in your day. But a really great tip that I have, and that's probably gonna be really useful to you guys, is saving your assets as templates. So once you kind of create a social media asset that you love or an email template that you love, save it as a template and reuse that same design the next time you send out a social media post or the next time you send out an email. That way you're saving time because you're not starting from scratch all over again. And that's going to give you that consistency and theme in the look and feel of your assets. So if you find something that you love that really works, use it over and over again. You do not need to reinvent the wheel every single time. And then, even better than your start from scratch designs or kind of reusing your templates is the ready-made content. So Compass is constantly pushing out assets for you. Anything from like current events. So I have on the screen here, you see game day. So they post, had something for the Super Bowl. They've created this nice post for Valentine's Day that you can use for your listing. They're always pumping out content from like current events to, Compass tools. If you want to tout like Compass Concierge, you can pull that and use it. And that's going to help you deliver on that consistency for the week. So if you want to have, 2 posts for the week that are your start from scratch, your listing post, and maybe push in a Compass ready-made content in there, you're going to have like a full range of posts and you're never really going to run out of content, which is awesome. But you might be thinking, okay, great, Compass has all this ready-made content, but everyone else is using it. Well, now with Compass Marketing Center, they have an editor functionality. So you can kind of customize even the ready-made content to make it unique to your team and your brand. Throw your logo in there, change, the font size or the header or the colors to align with your brand. There's really a lot of ways to customize what's in there without starting from scratch and without kind of having to hire your own graphic designer or spend hours and hours creating assets for your marketing. The second tool, which is honestly my favorite tool, is the video generator. So you have here, so the video generator basically is a tool that allows you to create custom, short, professional looking videos using your existing listing photos in literally 5 seconds. It is the easiest, quickest thing to use. And videos are a really great way for people to engage on social media. So I say always use video as much as you can. The caveat to that is you always think video takes a lot of time. Like, do I have to hire a videographer? Do I have to have a crazy video editing tool? No, with this video generator, you can create amazing videos in just a few seconds. So let's see, I want to see if I can play this. So this is a video I created in maybe 5 seconds. This is one of Ethan's listings.
Thought I recognized it.
I added myself to Ethan's team. But so yeah, it creates a video using your photos, it adds great music. And even, with this video generator, you can customize it. If it creates the video, you don't like the images, you can swap them in and out, you can change the music, you can change the text, you can customize it, but it makes it so easy for you to do. And then third is digital ads. So I'm sure digital ads are talked about a lot on your team. How are we going to run ads? Facebook, Instagram, how are we going to reach people? It sounds much more daunting and complicated than it is. Compass makes it super easy for you to run digital ads, reach a super targeted audience that is likely going to engage with the content that you're pushing through the ad. And you don't have to be a marketing expert to do this. That is the best part. It is super easy. It is quick. And you can run digital ads for your team and provide really great value. So Compass, as you can see in the screen grab here, you can run a few different types of digital ads. You can run digital ads just for your brand or your team if you want to raise awareness for, a specific agent. A coming soon ad for a listing that hasn't hit the market yet, a just listed ad, and you can also do open house ads. So a few different ads, super customized depending on what the goal is, and to receive really a lot of maximum exposure. A few different benefits of digital ads that I want to make sure you guys are aware of, besides just bringing traffic to a listing or your awareness for your brand, is it can impact your go-to-market strategy. So when you launch a listing, maybe you'll see insights or information and statistics from the results of these ads that are going to impact maybe the type of audience you go to or that your team lead goes to for the listing. So you'll be able to see, a lot of people from Florida are looking at this listing. Maybe we should increase marketing efforts in Florida to reach a specific audience or our ideal buyer. Drive brand awareness. So digital ads create great exposure for your brand. If you are on Instagram or Facebook and you're constantly seeing, the Ethan Leifer team running really great ads, you're gonna have awareness of him and his team and their listings. So they're gonna be top of mind with whoever is reaching those listings. So it really sets the tone for your reputation and for your business. So really great brand awareness. Ads can support a pre-pricing conversation. So, maybe your team lead really wants to reprice the listing price of the home, by, $100,000, let's say. You can use the insights from these ads to kind of inform that conversation. If, the listing gets stale or web traffic declines, that can help with that conversation, and also to win over potential clients. So this is a really great tool or tactic to include in the listing presentation. If you tell a potential seller, I can bring you thousands of web visits to your listing with my digital ads, and you can likely it'll help you win a potential listing. So what's next? So I think you guys have an idea of what is available to you and why it's important to use it. But I think a big question that often comes up is, when should I use it? And that is where your master marketing calendar is going to come into play. So this is just an example of one that one of our clients uses. And he has everything in here from like pre-marketing strategy to just listed strategy. This is really going to be what helps you execute what you have available to you. So I know we're short on time. We're actually a little bit over time, but if any of you guys want to receive a template of a marketing calendar, please shoot us an email. We can get something to you, and happy to answer any questions that you guys have around marketing calendars and just setting the plan and tone for your marketing strategy.
Yeah, so we did run over time. I appreciate everybody staying a few minutes over. We had a lot of information to get across. Chelsea, there was a question, how to check the stats of a previously published digital ad.
Yes, so that lies within your insights in your Compass, not within Marketing Center, but within your Compass home. You can go to Insights, and that's where you can pull all of your digital ad information and also just the insights on your listing page. So the same place where you can pull insights for your listings is where you can get the insights of your ads.
Yeah, Melissa, I hope that answered your question, but Compass really, with all the tools, they all are interconnected. So if you're doing digital ads or if people are coming to your listing from various directions, insights reports is where it all gets curated, right, Chelsea?
Exactly. Yep. That's your.
And I'm not sure. So Melissa might be in an area of where insights might not be working. So if that's the challenge, then unfortunately, would there be another way to check if for some reason insights wasn't working in different markets?
If insights is not working, I would reach out to your product expert at Compass. they can always pull the insights for you on the back end because the ads are essentially run through the Compass profile. So whoever has access to the Compass social media platforms, they can get you any information you need.
Yeah, that's good to know because Compass, all the tools work in New York City and some other states, but some states are, some of them maybe don't. So that's a great tip to know. You can still get that information if you don't have access to it immediately. You can reach out to a, what'd you say, product manager?
Yeah, I would say a product expert at Compass.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. If there are any other questions, guys, I know we're over time, but if you're still here and you do have a question, we're happy to answer. Otherwise, we really appreciate you coming out today. And this is all recorded, the notes are taken, and you have access to our website. So please feel free to go back and look again if you feel like you missed something, want to watch it again. And like I said, that calendar I created, if you would like, I can add you guys all into it and you can use it as a sample for yourselves and create your own and delete it.
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll invite everyone into it who's an admin, even here or not, and they can use it or not use it. I am not personally offended, and if you enhance it, please let me know because we're always looking to grow and learn from you guys as well. We want to be collaborative. So again, thank you so much for coming today. We hope this was helpful to you.
Very much so.
Great. And we do these once a month. So we will invite you to the next one. Stay tuned.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.